Morning. Well, folks, we got a great call lined up today. I'm excited about this gentleman. He's a former youth pastor of this church in Ohio. Yeah, he is the father of 5 children and a beautiful, lovely wife. Is very supportive. And she's amazing. He's a good friend of mine. He's been a COC member for 4 years. He's also moved to Dallas just recently from Ohio. He came from the background of lawn and gardening. He's been in ACN 9 years. 9 years. It took him after 8 months of working ACN. Listen up, all you part-timers. Listen up. After 8 months working ACN, he walked away from his job and never looked back. 2 years to RVP with 100,000 in billing. 4 years in, he was a platinum RVP and just done an outstanding job and one of the largest organizations. I remember one time I went up there many years ago. I'm going to talk about him in one more second here. I went to Ohio and I called him up to them I was coming. This had to be at least 8 years ago, 9 years, 7 years, something like that ago. And I came up there and he just rolled out the red carpet. I walked in, I sat in the back of the room and he was acknowledging, blew my mind. He was acknowledging everybody, talking about 7 or 8 years ago, everybody had 100 points stand up and he had name after name after name after name after name. Now this is 7 years ago. He had people with 100 points then before ACN even went that way. I think the minimum we had to have is 60. And he was doing 100 club members back then. I was blown away. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget it. I can still visualize it. He had at least 30, 40 people stand up that had over 100 points. And that was back then. Without further ado, Regional Vice President Platinum, the great, the one and only, the great Steve Payten.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. And it was probably 7.5 years ago because I wasn't a regional vice president yet. And could you imagine, going to, I think I had been to 2 international training events. And, praise God, at the time, immediately I was able to get to the position that's now called regional director and become top 10 in the company. And the SVP, one of the speakers on stage, contacts you, SVP Alzheimer's. I know to y'all, he not that big of a deal because he's y'all leader, but to me, he was a big deal and still is a big deal. And he contacts me and say, hey, I'm thinking about coming to Ohio. I'm like, well, you need, come on, what's up? Come on, and he said something, I can't remember what he said on the phone, but he said, I'm thinking about coming, but I got to get there or something like that. And I said to him, well, you should fly your plane because because I saw him training on international with the airplane. And I just was shooting my shot because I wanted to talk about it. And he's like, that may not be a bad idea. And he flew his plane in like the next day, after having that conversation, because he originally, he was considering coming to Ohio, but he wanted me to take care of his guests. But I wanted to be with Mr. Al Thomas, and he came into town and really blew my mind. But it just showed me and built my belief because it showed the lifestyle that an SVP, could live in ACN. So imagine me being new. That just increased my belief. Like, wow, I have to get to this position. I want to be around people like this. I want to hang with people like this. I want them to be, I want to be friends with people like this. And, we became very close, after that, one of my, dear friends with this business, someone that I can count on, someone I can trust to ask questions and know that I can trust him with confidence that he's not going to tell my business, even inside ACN and outside of ACN. So I appreciate, your SVP, Mr. Al Thomas, and I'll never forget that day because it was a critical point in my ACN career. Because write this down, guys. Write this down. This is very important. God gave this to me last night, and it's all about belief. It's all about belief. And belief is greater than almost anything. It's your belief. You know, we tend to think that things are, you know, are about sacrifice and what you do and stuff like that, but it's all about belief. So you want things in your life that increase your belief. Do anything that can increase your belief. Look for things that support good beliefs. That's the key. Because if you believe you can, you can. But if you believe you can't, you can't. I had a conversation. It's crazy. So I had a conversation with a young lady yesterday. And this young lady got started with ACN. I recruited her a couple months ago. Listen, Chloe, I made her thousands of dollars. I recruited her personally. I put her in the leg that I need to go to SVP. So anyone, she is in a brilliant position, if you guys know about ACN. Anybody that I get in the business has to go up under this girl, this young lady. And she made thousands of dollars her first month in the business and stuff. And I hit her up. I contacted her. I said, hey, I said, I have this new business partner that I'm about to put in the business, but I noticed you haven't been on any of the calls. You know, so what's going on? I said, I just need to know because I don't want to waste my time and give you this business, but I just want to see where her head was and give you this business partner if you're not going to take this thing serious. So are you doing ACN right now? Are you toast? What do you want to do? Her response was, well, what do I have to do? She said, do I have to do presentations? I said, you got to show up. You got to get on the calls. I know that she's available during the calls. I said, yes, you have to do the presentations and you know, get customers and stuff like that. She said, her response was, I have a trash network. So I said to her, I said, girl, I said, I had a trash network. Most people have a trash network, but you have to figure out how to work with this. You got to figure it out. You got to learn, and you do that by plugging into the system, plugging into the training and stuff like that. And she said, okay. I said, so what are you going to do? I said, listen, I said, I am going to help you. I've kept my word. I've showed you everything that I could do. I've kept my word. And look, it's another business partner for you. It's going to be an easy track to get to regional director for you. And I said, but if you believe that your network is trash, they're going to be trash. If you believe your downline is trash, they're going to be trash. But if you believe that they're going to be great and that it's going to change and you're going to figure out how to do this business, then it will. And she said to me, she said, you're right. And her response was, and I don't think I'm ready yet. And I was like, I can't believe someone that has made thousands, she's only been in ACN for 3 months, someone that's made thousands of dollars, and I'm like, she knows everything. She did it the first time. I wanted to go in because this is her 3rd time joining ACN. She's done other, not network marketing companies, but other businesses and got coaching and stuff like that. So that her mindset is not the same. So she and I thought that she was going to be different this time. So I contacted her coach because her coach is the one that told me that she kept talking about, raving about me and raving about ACN and how I inspired her and stuff. So I had the inside scoop from her coach. And I contacted her, I said, this is crazy. I said, she is still lazy. And I said, and she lacks self-confidence. And a lot of us do, because it's all about belief. Belief, 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 belief. What do you believe? So I'm going to take you on a journey with me and my belief, you know. So my name is, so the purpose of me telling you that story was my belief got increased when I saw Mr. Al Thomas. And I saw him because I was new into network marketing for about 1.5 years. I had only been to a couple of internationals, but it was almost like a test. It was like, bring your plane out here. You know, it was like, I'm getting a call like, it was like, are you real? Is this a real person? Is this a real phone call right now? Am I getting the real Al Thomas calling me? If this is Al Thomas, bring your airplane out here that I saw you with on the international training event. And he came out and brought that airplane, and I was like, I want an airplane one day. I don't even know if I want to fly. I just want to be able to say that I have it, or just to be able to have a conversation about purchasing one means that I have done what I needed to do in network marketing. So that increased my belief. So you got to look for things that increase your belief, that make you do things that you never thought you could do in this business. All right. So I get started with ACN. So imagine me, I get started and I'm in lawn care. I'm doing fertilizer and weed control, treating the grass and stuff. So I had no type of business experience, no type of multi-level marketing experience whatsoever. And I'm treating the grass. And my story is crazy because my father-in-law contacts me, blowing my phone up. Steve, you got to take a look at this business. You know, they get paid on gas and electric and this and this and this. And I'm broke. You know, at the time I have 4 kids under 4. And, you know, we are, you know, trying to make ends meet. The year before ACN in 2011, I made 12 grand for the entire year. And I had 3 kids and 1 on the way. And I made 12 grand for the entire year. And I lived with my father-in-law and mother-in-law. Me and my wife lived in the basement on the mattress on the ground. And the kids, you know, were in different parts of the house. And we had to move there because of my financial situation. Now I have the best in-laws in the world, but you never want to live with your in-laws as a man. Maybe the mother might want to, but as a man, and I got the best in-laws ever, but you don't feel like a man doing that. All right, so I'm living there for about 8 to 10 months, and it's stressful because I haven't figured it out. So I finally get out, and like I'm working at Scott's, not making that much income, and my father-in-law calls me. And in my mind, I'm hearing, Steve, I got a way to help you so that you never have to live with us again. And I'm like, I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to hear about no gas and electric. I don't want to hear about whatever you're talking about. I don't need your help. I got this. I'm going to keep moving up in Scott's. And I avoided him for 3 months, and 2 months. He calls my wife and guilt trips her about me never coming to the events and seeing anything. So I'm in trouble. And one thing about me, I had 4 kids for a reason. You know, I'm not trying to be in a doghouse. That's not my type of house ever. So I'm like, okay, I can't get in a doghouse. Let me make sure that I go to this, you know, little meeting that he's talking about. So I'm thinking I'm just paying my dues. I sit all the way in the back. I have my arms crossed. I'm not interested. I'm tuned out. And I see the ACN video. And when I saw the video talking about cable, internet, gas, and electric, I guess now that I look back, it had to be God, because I don't know how anyone in their right mind could not want to do ACN, seeing the video and being introduced by someone that they already know that's doing it, that's getting paid on the services that they already know with companies. I don't know. But for me, someone who was stubborn and didn't want to be there and knew 100% that I was just paying my dues and wasn't going to join anything, I got started for $500 on the spot. And, you know, after getting started with that business, I told my mentor that day, I said, I thought my belief was high. I said, you just hit the lottery. I said, I'm about to blow this business up. I said, nothing is going to stop me. I've been praying for something. It's over. I said, I'm going to be your best rep ever. I said, what do you need? Tell me, what do you need from me? I said, because I don't have any experience with this, but I'm about to blow this up. He said, you got to be coachable and you got to have work ethic. I said, it's over. I said, if that's what you need, it's over. I'm going to be the best ever. And in my mind, I was going to blow up ACN and be the best ACN IBO ever. 3 months later, I still wasn't qualified. And the reason why I wasn't qualified, my story is crazy. And it was because I was working at the same time. And and my wife would always say, "Hey, when are you gonna do that ACN business?" And my mentor was telling me to get services through myself. You know, he was telling me to get internet. And I'm like, I'm not paying for high speed internet. You know, it was like $40. I was paying $19, 14. Actually, I was paying $14.99 for internet. He was telling me to get a home phone. I'm like, I told him, I said, old people got home phones. I don't need a home phone. Everything that he was saying was stupid to me. You know, transfer this, buy a cell. At the time, Flash Wireless, you couldn't transfer your device over. You had to buy the service, you know, and the phones were $600 phones. That's how much the phones were. And I'm broke. So I'm like, everything, it just wasn't working. So what happened was I got sick with the flu. And when I got the flu, you know, I went into work. I never missed work. I was #1 in the company with Scott's Miracle Grow, and I was moving up fast. I had rode in the private, you know, helicopter with the CEO of the company, and like I could go anywhere, you know, to be the manager. I was moving up, hard worker, just like I am with ACN. That's what I know, how to work hard. My father was a custodian and pizza delivery guy as a kid. My grandfather was a custodian. You know, I grew up in a family tree of people that knew how to work hard, but be broke, you know, so I knew how to work hard. And I got sick with the flu. Everything was fine. I went into work because I never missed work. 2 weeks later, though, it was like a delayed reaction with my family. My wife and kids got sick with the flu. And stuff was going out this way and out the other way. And for those that have kids and they're married, they can relate that when the going gets tough, the kids want mommy. They don't want daddy. They don't, there's nothing I could do. It's like, they don't really believe that daddy can really help them, you know? So it's like, she's sick with the flu. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to help. I don't even know what cleaning agents to use. Like, I don't know what to do. How do I clean up this stuff? What do I do? It was the worst experience of my life. I'll never forget it. And praise God, our kids been healthy since then. And I called my boss to get off work. I never call off. If I'm sick with the pneumonia, I mean, when I had pneumonia, even in ACN, I was working doing PBRs. That's me. I am a grinder. That's what I know. And the reason why I never called off work was because I wanted to save my vacation. I like that. I didn't want to call off and then not have a whole week vacation. You know what I'm saying? Because you only got a week, you know, whatever it was. So I wanted that whole week to myself. I didn't want to take a day here and there. I wanted that whole week to go travel somewhere with my wife. And I called because I had to. And I called my boss and I say, hey, I got to get off work. You know, my wife and kids got the flu. And he said, what, Payten? It's go time. You got to get ready for the spring. Now, I'm the manager. I never talk about how I'm the manager, you know, but I'm the manager. I made the company millions. I'm #1 in the company. You know, I am like shocked that he would tell me he's in a remote location, you know, states away. And he tells me that I cannot get off work. I'm like, what the? No, he did not. So I'm like, I'm not going into work, but I call my upline in ACN, my success coach, and I say, hey, Jeff, I got to figure this thing out. Like, this got to work. I'm like crying on the phone, but I'm like trying not to let him hear that I'm crying in my voice and I'm trying to hold back tears right now because that experience of feeling like stuck, like there's nothing you can do. Like I'm a child again. Like you can't do nothing. You can't go be with your family. You can't help your family. Like, and you tell me no, like I'm a kid. Like, I'm like, dang, like, and I've done so much for this company. So he said to me, he said, all right, he said, you got to go to training. I said, okay, I can't go to training. That's what I can't do because I work 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So the Saturday training is during time that I'm at work. He said, well, you got to go to training. I said, listen, I will do whatever you tell me to do. Just tell me what to do. And I'll do it. So whatever they talk about at training, I'll do that. Okay. Just tell me and I'll do it because I'll blow this, but I can't miss work because I got to provide for my family. He said, you got to go to training. He said, you got to go to training out there in Cleveland. He was all the way in Cincinnati. That's 4 hours away. You got to go to training out there in Cleveland. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I go to training, and this is belief right here. Changed the game for me. I go to training. It just happens to be a regional event. This event has Leanne Gabriel at this event. And she had just hit SVP. And she was crying. She was talking about, oh, it took me, I'm the longest SVP. It was something crazy. It was like 18 years or something. It took me so long to go SVP. And I was like, oh, it's gonna take me so long too. I know I'm not even qualified. Like I'm crying, like, and I'm just relating. Like, it's okay if it take long, I'm gonna do it. Like my belief had went up. And there she talked about everything she said. It was before I met Al Thomas, but it was like she was like that. Like it was gold, millionaire, making money. I want to get there. She said, get everything through yourself. I got everything through myself. She said, learn a compensation plan. It'll motivate you. Teach it to motivate your team. So I studied it every single day, and I did what the compensation plan told me to do. What did the compensation plan tell you to do? Expose people to the business. So I told everybody. Prior to that, my network was trash. Everybody wasn't interested. Nobody wanted to do it. But my belief went up at this event, and it continued to go up. I'm gonna tell you why my belief went up. I got qualified that night. I got everything through myself. I paid $650 for my cell phone. I had an iPhone 4 with Verizon. I wanted to get Verizon because in my mind, I said Verizon was the best, and I wanted I didn't want it to mess up. I knew I was going to be doing business. I had a vision to drive to Columbus, 2 hours away, with Ohio State and stuff like that. And I said, I'm going to need Verizon. So I paid $650. I was broke though. So the next week I bought my wife's phone for $550, and it was a Galaxy. The cell phone with Verizon at the time, we had limitations. So I had to get a 3G device. Okay. Everybody else had 4G devices and stuff like that. But I'd rather drop down to a lower device because I was afraid that it would drop. So everybody would make fun of me for years. I had a free cell phone. People would make fun of me that the iPhone 5 and 5S was out and 6 and stuff. And I still had that iPhone 4. I literally went from the iPhone 4 to the iPhone. I went from the iPhone 4 to the iPhone 6S. So I had the iPhone 4 for 6 years. 6 years in my ACN business. By the time I got the 6, the 8 was already out and the 10 was out. I don't do a lot on my phone. So I had it. And my goal was whenever somebody would make fun of my phone at a meeting, I would say, my phone free. How much your bill is? And I would pull up my Flash Wireless account and show them my free phone. I was like, you laughing, but my phone's free. And I would use that as a way to get people in the business. So a week later, I hit the ETL, but it was different. It was, you had to have 3 different business partners on your team in 3 different legs. And then they had to have 2. Okay. So really, essentially, I had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 business partners in a week. I was relentless. I was talking to everybody. And because of my belief had increased, because I went to an event, the event increased my belief. The event made me do things that I wasn't doing. My reason why was to get at home and be with my family and my kids. It's cool to have a reason why, but you have belief behind that reason why. At that point, after seeing her, that triggered something that made me think, I can do this. I have to change the way I'm thinking and go do things now. My belief had increased. So then at that point, I'm moving. I'm getting messages from, regional directors above me talking about I'm the #1 executive team leader and stuff like this. And they want to do a conference call. They do a conference call and they say, you got to go to the international training event. And if you get double digits to the international training event, you'll be the position that's now called regional director. So at the time I have 14 business partners and I get 12 people to the international training event. Like I'm calling and like my business is hanging on a thread because I was moving but I was making so many mistakes because I didn't have any help. So the mistakes that I was making was getting people qualified late, so then people not making money, you know, and my team was ready to quit, you know. So I called my cousin Greg Borden, he's an RVP right now, and I call him and I say, hey, cuz, I said, listen, let's go to this international training event. Let's see what happens. I knew that, I mean, it's like my best friend, you know, so I knew that he was about to quit. So I said, look, I said, we can quit together. I said, but I need you to be here at this event. Let's just see what they say. Let's just one time do everything that they tell us to do. And if it doesn't work out, we'll quit together, but I need you to be there. And he said, okay, I got you. He said he was gonna do it, he got it. And then he wasn't doing it. So I kept begging him every day, like, when you go get registered? He finally did it. I said, okay, now we gotta get Corey. Now we gotta get your brother. And then he did it, you know. And then once I got them, now I got the influential people part of my team. And then I got everybody else on my team except two people that would refuse to answer the phone. We get to the international. All right, so we all broke. We were the trash team, okay? Just broke people with no network. So we all stayed in the same hotel room, okay? The same hotel room, all 12 of us. Listen, my mentor told me I had to bring my wife, and I couldn't get a babysitter. I tried to get a babysitter, so I had to bring my 4 kids too. So they were all dispersed, you know, amongst the hotel with some of the other people in the room that I trusted. Antonio and L'Oreal Churn, they are regional vice presidents now. Some of my kids was with them, and some of them, we were all in the same room. We couldn't afford to go out to eat like I go out to eat every day at the international now. So we got sandwiches and had chips and had a cooler. That's all we had. And we ate that every day, you know. And I went to the international training event, saw people like Mr. Al Thomas. And at that event, my belief increased again. And it was crazy. I praise God that I brought my wife, because she was giving me a hard time. The whole time, even at the event, I'm looking at her on Friday, I'm looking at her on Saturday, like, they said that she was gonna change. Like, what's happening? Like, she still was not feeling ACN. She was against it. She thought it was, you know, crazy. And I'm looking at her, and the last day on Sunday, you know, they promoted the events. They talked about the events, and they show a couple that had an airplane too, like Al Thomas, like Mr. Thomas, and talked about, you know, skiing and traveling and stuff like that. And I saw my wife crying, and I looked at her, and she said to me, she was crying. She said, "What do you need from me?" Now, this lady up until this point had even locked me out of the house before and said, it's ACN or me. Like, it got bad. It got bad, you know, because it was on Saturday training. You know, I was committed. Like, it was hard. But even when she did that, I told myself, I said, she don't know what I know. I'm going to work hard. I had quit my job, making $750 a month with ACN. With 4 kids under 4, I was making $750 a month from ACN. That's it. And what's crazy is, when I quit, I was smart. I knew that we didn't have a house, so I bought a house with my Scott's income. So I bought a house, and I had a $1,500 mortgage. Okay. I bought my wife a brand new Cadillac Escalade, okay? All anticipating. So I had a $600 car note, Cadillac Escalade. I put $10,000 down on it, and I used my credit. I had excellent credit in my job. And then after we closed on the house, a week later, I told my wife, after we closed, I'm quitting. I quit Scott's, making $750 a month. $750 a month. Why? My belief. It was over. I'm a beast. I can do anything. The Bible say I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do anything. There's nothing I can't do. I'm gonna figure it out. Period. I'm gonna make it happen. I don't care about that. I'm not even thinking about the money. I'm not thinking about that. My belief was increased. I saw other people doing it. I saw people doing HCN and having success. That's all I need to see. What else do I need to see? You better than me? Mr. Thomas better than me? Other people better? No, they're not better than me. They just put in the work. So I'm gonna figure this work out. My belief had increased. My belief increased so much that with 4 under 4, a brand new mortgage, a brand new car, and making $750 from ACN. What are y'all doing? I had belief. My belief was high. There was no doubt in my mind that I was gonna blow this up. I did a call like this a couple of weeks ago for RVP. They asked me to do it, and one of her questions was, what do you do when you lose momentum? When you lose momentum to get it back? I said, okay, you asking me this question, so I have to be honest. I've never lost momentum in my life. When have you ever not seen Stephen Payten on the charts? It's not gonna happen. It's impossible to lose momentum. It's impossible. It's impossible. The only way you lose momentum is if you're lazy, if you're not working. I work less than most people. I bet I work less than most people, but I still do more than the majority. It's crazy. I don't even work that hard. Listen, I'm on the charts and I have a son that's in soccer. I have a daughter that's in soccer, another daughter that is in theater and in softball, and a son that's in football, okay? And then a daughter that's in gymnastics. Listen, I have practice every day. My kids are around me right now listening. They'll come over. I never miss practice. Somebody got practice every day. I'm at their practice. I'm at every game and every practice, and I'm on the charts. Why? Because I manage my time. I have other businesses. I'm heavily involved in the church. I have impact outreach. We do things like church type stuff with impact with my team. I'm very busy. But one thing I'm not is I'm very not lazy. I work in pockets. Sometimes I do calls when I'm at the practice on Zoom. You just got to do it. You got to take the time out to do it. You got to lead by example. One thing that I'm afraid of, the reason why I will never not be on the charts, I have 3 RVPs that's about to promote in the next 90 days. You know, one that has all the points in already. And this is my RVP open line. So this means that it's going to take away from me and the credit for me being on the charts. And every time I get an RVP, I stay on the charts still with other RVPs on my team. So their production doesn't count for me. And the reason is because I lead by example. I told my team, I said, hey, look, y'all know I've been kicking it. I'm on the charts. I said to my team, we met like this, a leadership. I said, y'all know I've been kicking it. I said, but you have my word. I'm still going to be on the charts because I want, when you guys have a guest, you can edify that Impact International and that Stephen Payten and that our team is one of the top teams in the company forever. So no matter what my other RVPs do, Stephen Payten is always going to do it. What does that mean? I'm always going to be exposing people to the business, always going to be talking to people. And I'm telling you, what I'm telling y'all, I don't do it as much as most people, but I do it so much more than most people. It's crazy. It's so easy. I was talking to my mentor, Efren Tejada, about it. It's crazy how just for doing a couple of Zooms a day, if I do 2 a day, that's more than most of y'all. I bet that's more than 90% of y'all. If I do 2 a day. 2 Zooms, 15, 30 minutes a day, that's not even part-time work. That's like less than part-time. But we don't take the time to do that. If I do 2, that's more than 99% of y'all. 99. I know it. You know how I know it? Because I'm higher on the charts. That's how I know it. You will be higher than me on the charts. The 99% of you guys. Now, there's people that do more than me, but they don't have the kids that I have and stuff like that. And I still give them a run for their money because I'm consistently working. Expose people to the business. Exposure. Never stop. Even when you think your network is trash, you'll run into somebody that their life circumstance changed. They want to do it. And they could be whack like me. They may not even have business owner experience and stuff like me, but just have hunger and don't want to live the way they've been living. Or you might run into somebody that knows somebody that's a doctor, that's an attorney. I get them every week. Doctors, attorneys, business owners, constantly joining my business, especially teachers, because I got so many teachers. It just attracts a lot of teachers. All different types of people. And then what do? You get them to the Game On event. You got to get them to the international. The one thing that I'm good at, and the main reason why I wanted Mr. Thomas to come, I'm phenomenal with this. I feel like I'm the best in ACN at this, leveraging the system. I let the system work for me. I let people work for me. I let ACN work for me. They work for me that day. I'm excited. Get them on that call. Y'all do the work, pump them up, tell them what they got to do. Because it gets to a point where they're not listening to Steve anymore. I need them to work for me. Calls like this, where I have leaders like Mr. Thomas or other leaders coming to get on it, I want them to work for me. Work for me. Let them work for me. Let the system work for you. But you got to have people. Because there's so many people. I have over 7,000 business partners. I have over 30,000 customers on my team. But if y'all get on my call tonight, it'll be like 100 people, 70 to 100 people. Where those 7,000 at? Because most of the people think like how the young lady think that's on my team. Most people don't do that. They don't put in the work. They don't want to keep working. They don't want to keep exposing people to the business. They don't do it. So if I know that in the back of my mind, what does that mean? I got to get more people, because out of the people that I get, I'm going to get a Brian Baker. I'm going to get a Mr. Thomas. I just got to get a lot of people. You're going to run into them. The math is the same in every business and in everything. 97% with businesses fail. It's just like that. The 2%, 3% make more than a 97% combined. 97% of the world are going to be employees. I wanted to be a part of the 3%. So I just got to find those people that want to be a part of 3%. I know a lot of people, you just got to find it. And I had to get over, because of my faith in God and because of, who I am as a person. It would bother me in the beginning when people will quit. But the Lord had to show me that all I have to do is do what he tells me to do. So one thing I do, I serve you. I'm going to go hard for you. I'm going to give it, like I called her, like, what's up? That's how I show up. You will never see somebody get on my Facebook post and say, oh, that guy, Stephen Payten, is a liar. He got me in this business and he didn't help. They know that it was them every time. They know it was them, because I'm going to do what I say that I'm going to do. I'm going to do my word, because I have an account to give to the Heavenly Father. So I'm going to serve you and I'm going to go hard for you. And I go hard for them. So if they quit or they give up, it ain't because of me. It's because they weren't following the system. What weren't they doing most of the time? They don't want to pay $20, $25, $29, $30, whatever it is, to go to international. Stuff like that. On a Zoom. Don't want to get no people on a Zoom call. But then you talk about your reason why and what you want to do, how you want to be at home with your family, how you want to open up a house for this, how you want to make a difference. You can't make a difference. You show me a person that's broke that's making a difference. You can unmute yourself, tell me. You got to have money. You got to have money. You got to have resources to help, to make it. You know who making a difference? Who building schools? LeBron James. And then we want to complain about politics, what the president is doing. All I see is complaining all the time. When it's one president is complaining, when it's another president, I don't complain. You never gonna see me complain about the president because I don't care who the president is. Because I control my life. I control it. Now, I don't care about stimulus or whatever, or whoever the president is, or what they tell me to do or what they tell me not to do. They only have but so much for me because I control my life. And I'm looking for people that want to hit regional vice president like me, senior vice president, and make an impact, make a difference. Who wants to make money so that we can go make a difference and help other people with their reason whys? You got to have a vision. That's the vision. Your vision has to be so big that you can talk crazy like Steve Payten on this call. You could talk crazy about quitting your job, making $750. My vision was too big. It had to work. It was no choice. The vision is too big. I have to change lives. I want to see people lives change. I want to see a different Ohio, a different Cleveland. I would tell people when I was new, back when Mr. Thomas met me, I would get at the end and I would say, my goal is for when people come to this hotel, they're gonna come and say, what's going on? I see Benzes and Audi A8s and Bentleys and I would name all these different cars up there and just naming them, and it happened. And it happened. I mean, the hotel was intentionally not in the hood, but the hood was the next city over. So you know that it's got some hood in it intentionally. I don't know if you noticed that, Mr. Thomas. This is intentional. When they come up in there, they see. So then people say, how did you get those people in? How I don't understand. People from network marketing contact me all the time. How did you do it? How did you get Black people to follow you? How did you get people in the greater Cleveland? How did you get broke people to pay $500? Because people follow vision. People follow belief. People experience me. And my name means everything. The Bible says a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. So when my team talks about this guy, Steve Payten, they know that I'm going to do it because their belief is high in me, because I keep my word. That's what y'all got to do. Follow the system, plug into the events, and then keep your word. And if you do it, I'm telling you, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You put in the work with the right heart and the right vision, God is going to provide the increase, period. And you will have a big team, and you will be able to say with confidence, I'll never lose momentum. I'll always be on the charts. No matter who gets promoted, I will continue to promote people because I got to keep promoting people because the vision has to take place. So I hope that this conversation helped you guys because I get passionate. ACN has changed my life. I don't know what happened to me. I'm trying to hold back tears right now. My son is next to me. He don't even know. My kids homeschool. We've been homeschooling for 4, 5, 6 years. I don't even know the number now. But my kids don't even know what it's like for daddy not to be there, for daddy have to work to make ends meet and can't come to practice, can't come to your games. Because of ACN, I'm able to be there. So I don't know why I'm so emotional today, but I'm happy. I take pride in it, and it's a blessing to be able to talk to you guys. Y'all got emotional Steve Payten today. Sorry about that, but God is good. Hopefully this helps move people into action. You got to move into action. Don't be lazy. You got to fight through it. Well, you know, I see some people that look like me on this call. You know, one of the stereotypes for people that look like me is laziness. Don't be lazy. Don't be the stereotype. It's a stereotype for a reason. Don't be that. I'm against it. I want to be the opposite of every stereotype. That's me. I want to be the opposite. I want to be the exception to the rule. So be that. Represent who you are and what you look like. I represent being a man of God, being a follower of Christ. I represent being a father. Hardcore, I represent being a husband. These are my titles. I represent it. I represent being a Black man. Okay. I represent being an impact. I represent being an ACN, all at high levels. It's a big deal to me. That's how you got to be. You got to hold yourself to a standard, and you can do it. It's easy. It's not even a big deal. Anybody can do it. So thank you so much, Mr. Thomas, for having me on the call. I appreciate you.
Hold on, sir. Don't go nowhere. I want to thank you. And I love what you said about don't be lazy and talk to everybody. I love it. So you must be that example. I love everything you said today. I want you to close the call out for me. It would respectfully, a call to action would be this. I want you to share with everybody why and get them qualified to get signed up if they haven't for the event come up in 23 days. How would you do that, sir?
How would I get people ready for that event?
On this call, that's correct.
Man, listen, you have to not only, I'm assuming that y'all are leaders, right? So y'all should already be registered. I mean, I'm not gonna even, like, you should be very, very disappointed in yourself if you're not registered as a leader. Because leaders lead by example. And if you're not, don't ever let it happen again. People make mistakes. Don't ever let it happen again. The minute that it says it, pay it and make sure that you're there. But you got to call everybody on your team. That's one thing that I do. I don't play with events. I tell my team that whenever it's a new event, it's a restart. It's a refresh. So now you're calling people, oh, ACN has just, bought another company. You're talking about all the new things that they're doing. They're doing new things. Things are changing. I want you to be a part of it. And I always apologize. I teach my team apologize. Say, I'm sorry. I wasn't the leader that I was supposed to be. But now I'm changing and I'm growing and I'm about to blow this business up. And I want you to be a part of it with me. So let's get on this call together. And you call in each and every person because you got to get numbers with you. That was the point of my story. You can't do it by yourself. You got to get numbers. You can't, I could talk till I'm blue in the face about my vision and what I'm going to do. But if I don't have nobody with me following me, it's not going to happen. So you got to expose people to the business. You expose people, that's an event, getting them on your Zoom or your PBR. And then from there, get them to events like this, customer training. And from there, you get them to the international training events. They get inspired by leaders. You see, Mr. Thomas is not my upline. But at the time, my upline wasn't a top producer. So to see a top producer, somebody training on stage, I'm like, I want to attract people like that so I can learn from them too. You're not gonna just call a Mr. Al Thomas and you just a CQ ETL that don't do nothing, So you want that. You want that for your team too. Hearing from other people that's producing currently, hearing what's working with the Zoom and stuff like that and everything that we're doing. So you got to get them on that call. Call everybody pack it out. It's real estate. It's a game. It's a game of Monopoly. Who can have the most real estate? So you want to get the most people to that event by working. Call and relaunch the people that haven't been doing it and have PGEs and presentations these next 3 or 4 weeks, exposing people to the business. In the back of your mind, and in the back of my mind, I always have a goal, a number goal. So I have to hit that goal. So if I have to meet you halfway, I'm not gonna pay $30. It's just too low. That means you don't want to do it. But if I got to meet you halfway to get on the call, whatever it takes, then I'm going to get my number. And I would aim big, 50, 100. It's just a zone. Aim big. If you do that, you got 50, 100, it's over. Because somebody's going to become a leader. That's what it's all about. Then when you get a leader, it's over. And then you do the same thing in the next leg, and then same thing in the next leg. It's a game of finding the leader.